Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Claire. I'm really inspired by red and gold. For ages now I've wanted to do some sort of red and gold pour. So what I'm going to do is my sort of new technique of ribbons of cells. So you may have seen the video for this piece recently where it was a straight pour with silicone in it, and then I torched it just in the lines, following the lines of the painting, which I really liked the effect. So I'm going to do that with some red and some gold, a few other colours, but I really want red and gold to be the predominant colours. So let me show you what I've chosen for this. So these are the colours that I've chosen. Two Amsterdam colours. I've not actually used this before. Amsterdam Carmine, and then Amsterdam Oxide Black. Two Pebeo Studio Acrylics colours, Iridescent Gold and Iridescent Copper. Some white by Royal & Langnickel, and then gold by Montmartre. This gold is a much warmer gold than this one. You can see the difference. This one's much more yellowy, so that's why I'm adding two different golds, because they're just totally different. I'm using a little canvas here. It's a 30cm square canvas, and I've mixed all my paints with PVA glue and water. So I've made my pouring medium 2 parts PVA glue to 1 part water by weight, and then I've mixed them with the paints. The ratio of pouring medium to your paint is actually slightly different this time. Let me show you. I've got the paints already here. Let me just show you the consistency. So this is 2 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint, because it's a metallic colour. Whereas, let me show you the red. Here's the red. This was, let me get this right, I needed more paint. So it was 2 parts pouring medium to 1.5 parts paint. So just a bit more paint in the recipe. So you can see it's quite thick. It's not too thick, and the reason I don't want it too thick is because I want cells. So I'm going to be putting some Spot On silicone, treadmill silicone, in each of the paints. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to go for about 3 drops. So I've got about half a cup, about 3 drops in each. I don't want it too thick or the cells won't come up. So let's get started. So for this ribbon pour, I've got a 1/2 pint plastic cup here I'm going to layer up. This is the order I would like to layer them in. So you'll notice I've got 2 reds because I want more red. I've got 2 golds of the different colour shades because I want 2 golds. So I've obviously split up the reds and split up the golds. I do not want white next to red because I don't want pink. I might get pink, and if I do, I do, but I want to avoid it if I can. So the white is separated and also the gold is separated. So let's just have a think about it. So I'm going to layer up the cup. I'm going to go with some reasonably thick layers, I think. So just one on top of the other, just down the side of the cup. I picked the copper. I don't often use copper in paintings, but I just think next to the red, it's going to look really nice. In fact, I don't often do paintings without turquoise, so this is something for me. Right, I think that's my limit. I think it's full. Great. So that cup is beautiful. What gorgeous colours. So pretty. Right, so I'm thinking of trying something different. So I would normally go at right angle, or straight lines, straight across the canvas. I'd quite like some curves to it. So I think what I'm going to do is actually pour the ribbons on diagonally, just to see what difference that gives me. It's a square canvas, so I guess it doesn't really matter which way I go. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to try diagonally just for a bit of a change. So ribbon pour just means I'm pouring ribbons, lines of paint across the canvas. Now I love it when it does that, when it goes all ripply. Now I think it's doing that because I'm doing it quite slowly. Oh, got some pink, never mind. So then I've got a lot covered. I'm just going back and filling some of the gaps. So there's a lot of white this end, but none this end. That would just be because of the layers. I'm happy so far. There's a real mix of colour in there. So now I'm going to tilt it. So I obviously want to get all the canvas covered, but I'm going to tilt it around, not just in lines, because I don't really want straight lines. I want a bit of a bend to it, a bit of a twist. So I'm just going to do whatever feels right in terms of getting the canvas covered. I've got lots of lovely paint on here, which is just so essential for helping to really try and control the composition of this. If you don't have much paint, you just can't do it. Right, so that last corner's done. So it's now all covered. So I'm just looking at what I've got. I've got quite a nice sort of S-shaped bend in the centre. I actually quite like it just like that. Oh, I haven't got this top corner covered. I thought it was. Now I can tell straight away that my paints are thinner because I've got cells popping up already, which I didn't really want. So I think maybe I've gone slightly too thin. Right, I like that. I've got where it goes over the corners, I've got a little loop here and there. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, quite a lot of cells. And in fact, do you know what? I think it's the white. Whenever I use that white, I get some quite strange effects with the white. Some almost sort of cloudy effects, and I think that's what I'm getting. So I'm going to torch, but I'm going to be quite careful. I don't want to torch too much. Right, I've got a grey band through the centre. I'm going to torch that first. See what happens. Right, brilliant. I've got the cells. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to be torching just in lines. I'm not torching everything. So I'm just really thinking about where I'm torching. I think I might torch through this other grey band as well, actually. So I'm not as keen on that. So if you find you've got a bit that you're just not quite as keen on, just torch it. See what happens. There's just a lump, a sort of grey lump there I'm not as keen on. Now there's quite a big band of gold. I'm just wondering about that. If I torch that, yeah, I've got a bit more red coming through. Not much, just a little bit. So it just breaks up that gold. Let's torch some of that white because I can see the colours underneath there. And actually, oh look, you can see a whole line of cells. Well, I should have moved it around. I'm not even going the whole way across because this white line here, it finished here. So I stopped torching here. So I think that works okay, works quite well. Right, I think I might be done. The cells are getting bigger all the time. So the first line, if you remember, was through here, and the cells were tiny, but they've really grown. I really like it. What I'm really happy with is you've got the tiny cells, but you've got these kind of big bouldery cells, which were the ones that really appeared to start with before I even torched. Loving it. Really, really happy. Right, let me show you close up. So I've wanted to do a red and gold painting for ages, and I've done it. I am so happy. It's so interesting. I've got a little bit of pink. You can see a little bit of pink there through some of the red, but it doesn't matter. It is the distinct colours, really. Gold, red, black and white. So I'm over the moon. These cells are beautiful. And the sparkle, you can see the sparkle there. So once this is dry, it will be so shimmery. These cells, where's my finger? Where am I pointing? Ah, here. These are the kind of bouldery cells. Let me just focus. That I had initially. Whereas these little tiny ones here are where I've torched. So you've got just such a collection. Just such a range. So some massive cells. So I said I didn't want cells to pop up before torching. But actually, I'm really happy they have. Because it just adds more interest to it. It's just more interesting. Just such a variety. So you've got the wavy lines and you've got the cells. So I just think that makes it look really interesting, really fascinating. And I rarely use black in a painting and I love it. There's not too much, it's just right, but it needed it. The black and the white just to offset the golds and the red. Oh, I'm really happy. And excuse me, one of the best bits about a pour like this is look at those wonderful edges. I need to wipe the edges because they've got drips on at the moment, but the pattern just flows straight off the edge and I love that about canvases. Great, I'll be back when it's dry. This is such a fun piece. It's so different. I love all the lines, all the waves, all the cells. It's very, very crowded, but I love that. The pink really doesn't show much. There's a couple of bits of pink here and here, but otherwise it's totally red. It's really, really worked. I'm so happy. Red and gold. I've finally done it. I finally got it. The details, if you look up close, are just gorgeous. It has dried so well. I was a little worried because there was so much paint on the canvas. I was slightly worried that it would crack, wouldn't dry properly. It's dried perfectly. It's dried exactly as I wanted it to. It's really iridescent with all the gold. It's really, really shimmery. And I really like the white. It's just so bright. Look at that gold line there with the white cells peeking through. It's just so interesting. So pretty. I love these big bouldery cells up against the really small cells. I think in hindsight, I could have torched less and that would have given me less of the small cells. So it wouldn't feel quite so chaotic and full on, but I just couldn't do that. I love my torching. I love my cells. But you can still see the stripes underneath. So really, really happy. Really love the result I've got here. So let me know what you think. Please do leave me comments. Give me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on this piece. Should I try this again in different colours? Great. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.